We are back with another exciting guest on the Boostly Spotlight series. This is the mini series which features on the Boostly podcast, and we shine the spotlight on businesses, products, and people, services that can help you either save time, save money, or just reduce hassle within your hospitality business. And these are things which you just need to know about. So this is why we love this mini series on the Boostly podcast. So my name, as you may already know, is Liam Carolan, and I'm the co-host. Today, we are joined by Ally Goltz, the head of growth at Minoan. Sorry. Minoan is featured in the Book Direct Blueprint, and that's Mark's new book, which is coming out in December 2022. So depending on when you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, you may want to go and check that out at boostly.co.uk/blueprint. And depending on when you're checking it out, you may be able to order it on there or sign up for the pre-order, which is really cool. So as we settle in and find out more about Minoan and how it can help you, we're going to dive in and say hello to Ally. So Ally, welcome along.
Hi, Liam. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm really excited to dive into this today, and thank you so much for coming along. So as head of growth at Minoan, let's start by you explaining a little bit of history of yourself, Ally, and how you got started with Minoan.
Sure. Yeah. Happy to give some background. So prior to joining Minoan, I've spent the entirety of my career leading sales teams in digital advertising. And just previously spent the last 7 years at Google, which is obviously a big giant in that space. What brought me to Minoan, Mark, who is the founder of Minoan, I believe he'll be on the podcast as well, is a really dear friend of mine and from university. And he, founded Minoan a couple years ago, told me about the idea. And ever since I've just loved the concept of the business. And when he approached me for this role in particular, it was just the perfect intersection for me of everything that I loved about retail and e-commerce, everything that I love personally about travel and hospitality, and then a little touch of, design and curation. And so it was a no-brainer at that point to come and join the team. And I'm thrilled that I did. It's been an amazing journey so far, and doing, companies growing really quickly. And so it was a great decision.
Hey, it sounds like a good decision. And for the people listening in, there's going to be hosts from all over the world who may not have heard of Minoan. Can you briefly explain what Minoan is and how it can help hosts?
Yeah, Minoan, it can help in a couple ways. So I'll dive into that. But essentially, I like to say that Minoan is the go-to place for furnishing your rental space. So what we've done as a company is we've gone out and we've negotiated discounts on over 200 different brands to essentially outfit your space and your property. So everything from furniture to linens, mattresses, appliances for the kitchen, all the way down to the soaps and shampoos that are in the bathroom in your space, you can buy through Minoan at a really steep discount. The reason that we're able to do that is because we also light these properties up and can make them shoppable to guests, meaning that if, a guest is staying at your property and they have the best night's sleep of their life, and they're like, oh my God, what is this mattress? I need this for my house. Or, wow, those linens were incredible. I love the plates in the kitchen. Anything that they want that's in the home, they can actually purchase it via a beautiful website that we create for you, check out, and by the time they get back from their vacation, it can be at their doorstep. So what's cool is that Minoan's going to save you money up front on the furniture or anything that you're putting in your rental. And then on the back end, you're earning a commission back on anything in your space that sells. So it saves you that money up front, and it also is like a recurring revenue stream for your property.
I love that. And it sounds like it's something which just all hosts is just a natural, yes, we need that, because one of the things, and I know this is mentioned in the chapter in the book, which I've been lucky enough to get a sneak preview on, is how there's many areas which hosts have kind of got down to a T. You know, we know how to do the numbers on properties, or we know how to, market the property or list it. But the one thing that we often struggle with as hosts is, where do we fill the properties from? You know, where do we get the furniture from? And often it is a time sensitive issue. We want to get the listings live quite quickly. And also we're shopping about on various websites, various delivery times and things like that. I don't think for me as a host, when I was setting up my first few units, that I'd really thought potentially I could even have, first of all, save money. I was paying retail at the time, but then second of all, to be able to use the purchasing that I'm doing to advertise to guests, which is just a genius aspect of it. So how does it help? You mentioned obviously how it helps hosts. How does it help guests and their experience?
Yeah, I mean, we have found that this is a real differentiator for guests staying in the space. The shoppability side of Minoan was really what started the company to begin with. Mark walked into a short-term rental here in the States, and he and his wife had a real life experience where they were like, wow, we love the bedding and look at how they set up the kitchen. This is so cool. And they left their vacation and they reached back out to the host and they said, hey, we absolutely loved the products in the space. We want to bring home a little piece of vacation with us. Can you send us, the links to where you purchase things? And upon doing that, realized, man, these aren't even affiliate links. Like, this host isn't even capitalizing on the incredible moments that she created in the space. And so, again, I think, listen, souvenirs are fun. But guests really want to walk away with something memorable. I think we all have experienced that when we're when you're traveling, it's just this, I don't know, you're just picking up on different moments of inspiration, and it's really easy to fall in love with the space that you're in when you're traveling. And so why not bring some of that home with you? I've certainly have those moments when I'm staying at either a boutique hotel or a short-term rental where, it's like, I don't want to get the hoodie in downtown, or I don't want to get just a magnet for my fridge. I want to, when I use my shampoo every morning, I want it to bring me back to when I was relaxed on vacation. And so, yeah, we found that guests have really, it's a differentiator for properties, and guests really love the ability to take a piece of their trip home with them.
I love that. And I know there's many hosts, including me, who's literally, as you tell me that story, I'm kicking myself because I've had exactly that situation. And there's probably many hosts who are watching this or listening in who have had that situation where I've not even capitalized on the affiliate links, sending bedding, sort of recommendations.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, listen, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of work to set up those affiliate links. And then, you're a hospitality business. You want to focus your time and energy on hosting, not on worrying about shipping out products or creating a big storefront. And so, again, we've just taken the heavy lifting off of you so that when you do get those requests from guests, you can capitalize on those rich moments without having to do a lot of the legwork.
That's really cool. And I love the fact that it really does help the guest experience, because of course, as hosts, we're after good quality reviews, and that thing that differentiates us will help towards that. So if we're using Minoan, then potentially we're going to get higher reviews because people just like how cool that service is. And I know that you mentioned, or that was mentioned in the book, that it's quite an immersive experience from the guest's point of view. So can you talk me through how it's immersive for the guest?
Yeah, I mean, we are big believers. Listen, people don't want to get sold to when they're on vacation, so we are big on what we call not NASCARing the space. We don't want there to be QR codes on every product around the home, or big flashy signs that are like, buy here and buy this now. And so what we've built is it's a very elegant and curated experience. Again, the website is just, I'll send it over so that you can include it in the notes, but it's just a really beautiful landing page essentially. And again, it's a elevated shopping experience for guests that's not super flashy. Liam, you were saying, how does it help the guests? I mean, candidly, even if a guest is not shopping at the property, right? Even if they're not taking advantage, or maybe the host just decides that they don't want their property to be shoppable quite yet, that's totally fine. Hosts can still use us for buying furniture at a discount. That's already enhancing the guest experience, because maybe the sofa that you would have bought at the secondhand store, or maybe skimped on the quality on, you're able to purchase a higher quality item because of the discounts that we offer. So you can make sure that you're outfitting the home with high quality products, with really, well-designed products. Like all of the brands that we work with, they're not, I stray away from saying high end because they're not, super expensive, but they're high quality. Like we make sure that, the products that we're bringing on board that then we're giving discounts to hosts are something that we would put in our own homes, And so again, I think it just overall the furniture can elevate that guest experience in a nice way, even if the property doesn't end up being shoppable.
I like that, because one of the things which you've mentioned there, switching it back towards the host side of things, is that many hosts unfortunately just look at one thing when setting up, and that is just the cost for up these units, and they're often just trying to get the lowest price, the second-hand items or things like that. But that's one of the things which how widespread do you think the problem is for hosts skimping out on furniture and actually doing themselves a disservice by having a lower nightly rate, because they could have just got that little bit more if they'd have gone through a service like Minoan?
Yeah, I mean, listen, setting up a property is expensive. And we don't take that lightly. We know that, you probably just went through the process of maybe purchasing the home, and now it's like, oh my gosh, this is a big space that I have to pour more money into. But what we've seen is that it really does pay off. And everything that you just said about, the nightly rate, we found that not only can you charge more per night based on the amenities in your home, the quality of the products or the furniture, the mattresses, the linens, etc., it's going to go back into your reviews, right? The last thing you want is, the host was great, but the mattress was so uncomfortable, or, the linens were ripped or stained. So again, it goes into, you can charge more, you'll get better reviews. So then you're also able to continue to charge more. And the other thing is, like, we always say buy nice or buy twice. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of hosts, I think, miss. Totally understand when you're setting up a property, it's a big investment. But it's exactly that. It's an investment in your business. And the tough reality is that if you skimp out, or, you try to buy really cheap products, what ends up happening is that you just have to buy them time and time again because they break or they don't hold up. They're not, those linens are not hospitality grade. So they're not used to going through different wash cycles, 3 times a week. And so, I truly believe that investment up front will pay dividends in terms of, a cash flow for the business.
Yeah, there's all them times where, I've stayed in places where I can see, the stuff is the B&M table for 12 pounds, like the, the very basic brands and things like that. And you can see it in photos all the time. When we assess an area, we look at the competition. And of course, one of the things, how you can stand out is by having nice furniture. And I said before we got started on this call that I've recently gone down to London. The hotel that I picked out was because of the nicer quality of furniture and interior compared to the other one, I was happy to pay a bit more on the basis of, it just looked nicer, it felt nicer, and it was a little bit more unique. So it's just so important.
Yeah. I mean, it's that idea of, we all judge books by the cover, unfortunately, and the pictures are so important when you're listing or you're marketing a property. And to your point, the ability to make it stand out with design and nice quality stuff, it really does make a difference.
And one of the things as well is the consistency. I tend to find, especially for short-term rental hosts, maybe not so much with sort of motel owners or bed and breakfast type places, but certainly for short-term rental, it's very difficult to keep the consistency across each unit. And that's one of the things is going to be important for guest experience. If they've stayed in one and they go to another and it's a completely different experience, they might be a bit shocked. Yep. Whereas presumably by using Minoan, you can really, you've got the same suppliers, you've got an idea of the cost and that side of things. It can really help with that.
Yeah, you create kind of that brand standard for yourself, whether it's across your own portfolio or, just the rooms within your rental alone. Yeah, it's very important that you maintain that consistency for guests. And I think that we make it really easy for you to do that. You mentioned earlier when you're setting up a property, you're shopping from several different places. Typically, you're getting mattresses from here, linens from here, your sofa from here. What ends up happening is that if those items do need to be replaced, it's like, oh crap, I don't even remember where I bought that or when I bought it. With Minoan, again, you're able to shop from all of these different vendors, but you check out in one place. So you don't have to manage things on a Google spreadsheet. You don't need to sift back through your emails. All you would have to do is log right back into Minoan, search by the property name and say, okay, this is the property. Oh, right, I need to replace that armchair. Well, here it is. And check out, and it's on its way to you again. So yeah, not only does it create that brand standard, but it makes it really easy. If you do need to set up a new property or you do need to replace something, everything's right there for you.
Hey, I imagine you're saving a lot of hassle when it comes down to people doing their taxes to be able to log into
yes, yes.
Yeah, one of the things I remember on my first property, literally, I mean, I had a bag of receipts. It was that bad. So, yeah, definitely. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening in who can relate to that. So, one of the questions, or there's two questions off the back of what we've been talking about. The first one is, as a host, for me, what is involved? How much, I guess, how much time or effort do I need to put in to really market these? These items which I've purchased?
Yeah, well, I guess it's twofold. It's very easy to use Minoan or to sign up to be a Minoan member. It's also completely free, so there's no membership fee for you. The join us flow on our website takes a total of maybe a minute and a half. I think we've timed it down to the second. And it's a really, pretty easy application process. We obviously review it just so that we know that, these people are in fact hosts, and then we'll go in and approve. On the shoppable side, the legwork is really on our team. If you've purchased products through Minoan, it's really easy for us to pipe those products right into the website and the experience. Again, all of which we build for you. Mm-hmm. We will send you the nice signs that say, see something you like. You'll have a custom QR code, a custom website link. And really the marketing of that site is up to you. Obviously you get out of it what you're putting in. So, the hosts that we see that have the highest conversions on the shoppable side, we know are marketing that website effectively. And so that means, including it maybe in their welcome email to guests. Again, including the little sign right next to, the guest book upon check-in, making sure that it's in follow-up emails, and also including it on your direct booking site. We have a lot of hosts that have these beautiful websites for their properties. And underneath, their menu bar just have the Minoan shop embedded right there. So that, again, if a host leaves, and even if if a guest leaves and even months later they want to go back, they can easily shop.
It sounds like there's not ever so much hassle involved in getting it set up. One of the things which we do have to mention, obviously, at the moment, our listeners are based in the US, Mexico, UK, but worldwide. Where is Minoan currently available, and is there plans to roll it out further?
Yeah, it's an important thing to mention. So right now, Minoan is strictly US based, but there are 100% plans for expansion, hopefully in the near future. Fingers crossed.
That's cool. There's, I know there's going to be a lot of people eager for Minoan, especially across here in the UK.
Yeah, I'm just as eager. So we'll, no promises, but yeah, it's definitely part of the plan.
That's cool. And to what extent does the furniture list cover? So when setting up a unit, a lot of the time, we're diving into, the pizza cutter, the peeler, all of the basic stuff. But obviously, we're talking beds, we're talking mattresses, we're talking sofas, I presume. What's the range that Minoan covers?
It really covers just about everything. Truly, we have over 200 brand partners at this point. There's little to nothing that you need for your rental, from big furniture items, again, all the way down to smaller decor or lamps, pictures, all those little details that really matter. We have brands for everyone. And for anything that you would need. And I think the other thing to note is it doesn't need to just be when you're setting up the property. I mean, obviously, if you're setting up a property from scratch, absolutely use Minoan, right? We talked about how big of an investment that is. So that's a no-brainer. But I always, tell hosts that maybe they find out about us and they're like, oh, I just did this. I just furnished. It's like, well, things are bound to break, or you want to replace it, or you want to, add that additional touch in a couple months. Again, there's no, minimum number of things that you need to buy. So I always tell people, definitely check us out, sign up, look at the brands. You may surprise yourself with, the brands that we carry and a product that you might need.
And that's cool, because most people get the hospitality bug, and they don't just have one sort of short-term rental.
Exactly.
Or, they tend to have a second. So at least they know about you after listening to this, and especially for the second and third and so on. So I feel I've really got to understand what Minoan is. I mean, it's about saving money and time when you're setting up, having that system in place. So it's taking that system, but then also improving the guest experience. And then, as the cherry on top is you're making income from something which you never would have done before. So it seems like a no-brainer to me. Is there anything else I've missed, or anything else I should have covered there?
Man, I feel like we have covered a lot. We've covered a lot of ground just in the, a couple minutes that we've been chatting. No, the only other thing that I will add about Minoan is that, we are very hungry for hosts' feedback. We love hearing from customers what excites their guests, or what they love about the product, or candidly, things that they want to be tweaked or changed. We're growing and we want to make it a really positive experience for both hosts and guests, and just enhance, the hospitality industry. And so, definitely please check us out and keep the feedback coming.
Awesome. And we're going to be sharing the, how to check it out in a second. But before we do, as we reach towards the end of these podcasts, we love to do a couple of quick fire questions. These are just a bit of fun to find out a little bit.
Oh boy. Okay.
So the answer can be as short as long as you like, but there's just a few questions to really dive into. So question number one: if you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose and why?
I think honestly, I would love to have. I always wanted to be a TV broadcaster. And I always loved Oprah. And I think the opportunities to sit down with Oprah would be very fun. So that's my answer.
She's very, very inspirational and a great answer.
Yes.
Is there any books that the listeners should check out, ones that you recommend, to people to go and check out?
Books to check out. I would say the new book coming out by Mark Simpson and Minoan. Yes, exactly. The plug, which should be coming out in December. So that's the book that I would say.
Awesome. Thank you for that. If you won $10 million on the lottery tomorrow, what would you first spend it on?
Man, after being in this industry, I would spend it on a short-term rental property.
Nice.
I would invest it. I really believe that like this is the future of hospitality. So if I won the lottery, that's absolutely the first thing I would do.
I think this is such a growing industry, isn't there? There's so much excitement around it. Who doesn't love finding new places to go away to? So that's really cool. And lastly, who inspires you or has been a source of inspiration for you?
Oh, this is probably a cliche answer in some regards, but I would say that my mother has been a huge inspiration in my life. She was, a working mom for the entirety of my life, and I just was always I always really admired how she balanced, motherhood and her career. She was a phenomenal salesperson. So I would say that she's been an inspiration for me, both obviously professionally and personally.
What a nice way to bring things to a close, Ally. And it's been so exciting, first of all, find out about your journey from, sort of at Google and then to head of growth at Minoan, and then just find out about the product itself. And it's been really fun today. So thank you so much for coming on to the Boostly podcast. Obviously, the important question is, how can the people listening get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, definitely. First is the website, www.minoanexperience.com, or check us out on Instagram at Minoan Experience. And we have a blog that's fantastic, but all of that lives on our website.
Awesome. And just for one more time for the people listening and watching on YouTube, obviously the Minoan chapter is in the book Direct Blueprint, which Mark Simpson has got the team of, he calls you guys the Avengers, which is the people that every host needs to have to really succeed in hospitality, especially with direct bookings, and to add those extra revenue streams as well. So, and for that, you can go to boostly.co.uk/blueprint and go and check it out on there. So we've reached the end, Ally. Is there anything that we've missed or any final thoughts at all?
No, Liam, thank you so much for having me. Definitely check out Minoan, check out the book. I know we are extremely proud to be in the company of such phenomenal authors, and can't wait to hear what people think about it.
Thank you so much, Ally, and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.